live early in the morning, see what's up with some people. I just woke up a little while ago and just threw myself in the shower. We're gonna put that retouch on. Oh wait. Oh wait. Hello. Is it on already? Okay, now it's on. So we'll see how this all goes. I was having like massive cravings just to like eat and eat last night. And then, to my surprise, some crazy news this morning. And hopefully this is all situated and it's gonna be okay. But I'm not gonna speak on that. I just went on live stream. As you can see, the puppies are a little bit rambunctious this morning. And they woke up again when I woke up, so that's good. As soon as I like went in the kitchen, I don't even know what I went in the kitchen for, but as soon as I did, they were like trying to get more food. I'm like, bro. I had to text my mom like, did you feed them? They're good. They're good. And last night I also have been doing a little bit with trying to get my videos in order to post. Remember my second channel that it's going to have an assortment of videos, but for now I've just been posting a lot of mukbangs for some reason, just my hungry eyes. And that channel name is Fairy59. That's how you can search it. And then my Instagram is Kiki SN, just like this handle, and my TikTok is Kiki Times, and that's what I have for social media. So I'm gonna be going and uploading more, but I do the live streaming here from time to time, so definitely be sure to like keep up with me on some socials if you'd like to, because that'll be fun. I like making friends. I played Fortnite yesterday with a few people that were from live stream, and it was fun. It was fun to say the least. Maybe this is not my peak time, I don't know. We just have to wait for it to happen. I am about to make a coffee though. I don't know. I feel pulled to start the day with finishing up what I was reading off from through my book. And I'm only up to like here, but I want to read the last portion from what I was reading, and then I want to start also doing stuff where I do like maybe live sessions for, you know, a type of Bible study a little bit, kind of. Hi, LOL. So, whatever page was I on? So last time I actually read, I actually was able to comprehend more than I really ever have for some reason, because I read it out loud. I feel like, so it made it easier for me to comprehend what I was reading. It's going pretty good. It's the morning time. We are saying, you know, good morning to the day. Rise and shine, all like that. I mean, I feel like it would be kind of random if I just started somewhere pretty random. But it's just that I'm so close to, I'm literally like, let me see. Yeah, I'm like 2 pages away from starting Ruth. So bear with me, bear with the girl. So what page this is on, and this is like a kid Bible, because I thought it was suitable for me. and I was in Judges. Damn, excuse me. Let me clear my throat. Good morning. It's cleared. Okay. Okay. So this part, I was already on a crazy part. I'm just gonna finish reading it because this is like the end chapter. So it's on page 338, Judges 19:22. While they were enjoying themselves, all of a sudden, wicked men of the city surrounded the house and beat on the door. They said to the old man who was the owner of the house, "Bring out the man who came to your house so we can have sex with him." The owner of the house went out and said to him, "Please don't do this evil, my brothers. After all, this man has come into my house. Don't commit his horrible outrage. Here, let me bring out my virgin daughter and the man's concubine now. Abuse them and do whatever you want to them, but don't commit this outrageous thing against this man." But the men would not listen to him, so the man seized his concubine and took her outside to them. They raped her and abused her all night until morning. At daybreak, they let her go. Early that morning, the woman made her way back, and as it was getting light, she collapsed at the doorway of the man's house where her master was. When her master got up in the morning and went out to leave on his journey, there was the woman, his concubine, collapsed near the doorway of the house with her hands on the threshold. "Get up," he told her, "let's go." But there was no response, so the man put her on his donkey and set out for home. When he entered his house, he picked up a knife, took hold of his concubine, cut her into 12 pieces, limb by limb, and then sent her throughout the territory of Israel. Everyone who saw it said, "Nothing like this has ever happened or has been since the day the Israelites came out of the land of Egypt until now." Think it over, discuss it, and speak up. War against Benjamin. All the Israelites from Dan to Beersheba and from the land of Gilead came out, and the community assembled as one body before the Lord at Mizpah. The leaders of all the people and of all the tribes of Israel represented themselves in the assembly of God's people, 400,000 armed foot soldiers. The Benjaminites heard that the Israelites had gone up to Mizpah. The Israelites asked, "Tell us, how did this evil act happen again? Will happen?" The Levite, the husband of the murdered woman, answered, "I went to Gibeah in Benjamin with my concubine to spend the night. Citizens of Gibeah came to attack me and surrounded the house at night. They intended to kill me, but they raped my concubine and she died. Then I took my concubine and cut her into pieces and sent her throughout Israel's territory because they have committed a wicked outrage in Israel. Look, all of you are Israelites. Give your judgment. Give your judgment and verdict here and now." Then all of the people stood united and said, "None of us will go to this tent or return to this house. None of us will go to his tent or return to his house. Now this is what we will do to Gibeah. We will attack it. By lot, we will take 10 men out of every 100 from all of the tribes of Israel, and 400 out of every 1,000, and 1,000 out of every 10,000 to get provisions for the troops when they get to Gibeah and 1,000 of every 10,000 to get provisions for the troops when they go to Gibeah and Benjamin to punish them for all of the outrage they committed in Israel." So all the men of Israel gathered, united against the city. Then the tribes of Israel sent men throughout the tribe of Benjamin, saying, "What is this evil that has happened among you? Oh my God. What is this evil that has happened among you? Hand over the wicked men in Gibeah so we can put them to death and purge evil from Israel." But the Benjaminites would not listen to their fellow Israelites. So that's the part I was on. You said, "Are you trapped?" No, you're not trapped. So this is what I was reading. I don't know if any of you have read this or maybe recall this little subsection that I'm reading, but it was crazy. And if you have any thoughts, I'd love to know them. Somebody said, "God is a crutch for people afraid to die." Are you afraid to live? Okay. You said, "This book is very flavorful. I like it." I agree. Reading a spice book, that's right. Yeah, I'm not gonna unblock the weird comments on this one. What's that? A concordance? Can you tell me? Oh wait. I didn't even have nothing but a breath of fresh air this morning. So excuse my like raspiness. Jeez. Yeah, it's the Bible. But I read it more so I want to just say also so that, in case people are like me, like I read it to get information, not like to, I agree to a certain extent that the Bible could fearmonger people, but it really depends on your relationship, like with all of that. I'm doing pretty good. It's very important for reading scripture. Look up what a concordance is. Sure. My iPad's just over there though, so I'm gonna get up for a second. Oh, I see. What is it, like a table of contents for the words that have the those like letters over them in the corner? That's what I'm assuming this means. It says is a alphabetical index of words found in the Bible. Oh my goodness. My bad. So I'm just gonna finish that little section that I was reading, because my stream was just paused for a second. So sorry about that. My mom had called me, so I had to pick up. There's just something occurring at the moment. So okay. So war against Benjamin. All of the Israelites from Dan to wait, I think I already read that. Hold on, let me try to find my spot again. I just got thrown off. So the Israelites asked, "Tell us how this evil act happen." The Levite, the husband of the murdered woman, answered, "I went to Gibeah and Benjamin with my concubine to spend the night. Citizens of Gibeah came to attack me and surrounded the house at night. They intended to kill me, but they raped my concubine and she died. Then I took my concubine, cut her in pieces, and sent her throughout Israel's territory because they have committed a wicked outrage in Israel. Look, all of you are Israelites. Give your judgment and verdict here and now." Then all of the people united and said, "None of us will go to this tent or return to his house. Now this is what we will do to Gibeah. We will attack it by lot. We will take 10 men out of every 100 from all of the tribes of Israel, and 100 out of every 1,000, and 1,000 out of every 10,000 to get provisions for the troops when they go to Gibeah and Benjamin to punish them for all the outrage they committed in Israel." So all the men of Israel gathered united against the city. Then the tribes of Israel sent men throughout the tribe of Benjamin, saying, "What is this evil act that has happened among you? Hand over the wicked men in Gibeah so we can put them to death and purge evil from Israel." But the Benjaminites would not listen to their fellow Israelites. Instead, the Benjaminites gathered together from their cities to Gibeah to go out and fight against the Israelites. On that day, the Benjaminites mobilized 26,000 armed men from their cities, besides 700 fit young men rallied by the inhabitants of Gibeah. There were 700 fit young men who were left-handed among all these troops. All could sling a stone at a hair and not miss. Let me just make sure they're not miss. I'm not gonna lie, I might just end up finishing this chapter because something in personal life is going on. Ooh. And I gotta be ready on my phone. I didn't really realize how ready I have to be on my phone. So The Israelites, apart from Benjamin, mobilized 400,000 armed men, every one an experienced warrior. They went to Bethel, and inquired of God. The Israelites asked, "Who is it to go first to fight for us against the Benjaminites?" And the Lord answered, "Judah will be first." In the morning, the Israelites set out and camped near Gibeah. The men of Israel went out to fight against Benjamin and took their battle positions against Gibeah. The Benjaminites came out of Gibeah and slaughtered 22,000 men of Israel on the field that day. But the Israelite troops rallied and again took their battle positions in the same place where they positioned themselves on the first day. They went up, wept before the Lord until evening, and inquired of him, "Should we again attack our brothers, the Benjaminites?" And the Lord answered, "Fight against them." On the second day, the Israelites advanced against the Benjaminites. That same day, the Benjaminites came out from Gibeah to meet them and slaughtered an additional 18,000 Israelites on the field. All were armed. The whole Israelite army went to Bethel, where they wept and sat before the Lord. They fasted that day until evening and offered burnt offerings and fellowship offerings to the Lord. Then the Israelites inquired of the Lord. In those days, the ark of the covenant of God was there, and Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, was serving before it. Excuse me. Good morning, Lucky. Bless you. Amen. Whew. I need some tea. The Israelites asked, "Should we again fight against our brothers, the Benjaminites, or should we stop?" The Lord answered, "Fight, because I will hand them over to you tomorrow." So Israel set up an ambush around Gibeah. On the third day, the Israelites fought against the Benjaminites and took their battle positions against Gibeah as before. Then the Benjaminites came out against the troops and were drawn away from the city. They began to attack the troops as before, killing about 30 men of Israel on the highways, one of which goes up to Bethel and the other to Gibeah through the open country. The Benjaminites said, "We are defeating them as before." But the Israelites said, "Let's flee and draw them away from the city to the highway." So all the men of Israel got up from their places and took their battle positions at Baal Tamar, while the Israelites in ambush charged out of their places west of Gibeah. While the Israelites in ambush charged out of their place west of Geba. 10,000 fit young men from all of Israel made a frontal assault against Gibeah, and the battle was fierce, but the Benjaminites did not know that disaster was about to strike them. The Lord defeated Benjamin in the presence of Israel, and on that day the Israelites slaughtered 25,100 men of Benjamin. All were armed. Then the Benjaminites realized they had been defeated, and the men of Israel had retreated before Benjamin because they were confident in the ambush they had set against Gibeah. The men in ambush had rushed quickly against Gibeah. They advanced and put the whole city to the sword. The men of Israel had a prearranged signal with the men in ambush. When they sent up a great cloud of smoke from the city, the men of Israel would return to the battle. When Benjamin had begun to strike them down, killing about 30 men of Israel, they said, "They're defeated before us, just as they were in the first battle." But when the column of smoke began to go up from the city, Benjamin looked behind them, and the whole city was going up in smoke. Then the men of Israel returned, and the men of Benjamin were terrified because they realized that disaster had struck them. They retreated before the men of Israel toward the wilderness, but the battle overtook them, and those who came out of the city slaughtered those between them. They surrounded the Benjaminites, pursued them, and easily overtook them near Gibeah toward the east. There were 18,000 men who died from Benjamin. All were warriors. Then Benjamin turned and fled toward the wilderness to Rimmon Rock. The Israel killed 5,000 men on the highways. They overtook them at Gidom and struck 2,000 more dead. All the Benjaminites who died that day were 25,000 armed men. All were warriors. But 600 men escaped into the wilderness to Rimmon Rock and stayed there for 4 months. The men of Israel turned back against the other Benjaminites and killed them with their swords, the entire city, the animals, and everything that remained. They also burned all the cities that remained. Brides for Benjamin. The men of Israel had sworn an oath at Mizpah, "None of us will give his daughter to a Benjaminite in marriage." So the people went to Bethel and sat there before God until evening. They wept loudly and bitterly and cried out, "Why, Lord God of Israel, has it occurred that one tribe is missing in Israel today?" The next day, the people got up early, built an altar there, and offered built an altar there and offered burnt offerings and fellowship offerings. The Israelites asked, "Who of all the tribes of Israel didn't come to the Lord, the assembly? Who of all the tribes of Israel didn't come to the Lord with the assembly? For a great oath had been taken from anyone who had not come to the Lord at Mizpah would certainly be put to death." But the Israelites had composition on their brothers. Composition. Oh my God, let's read better. But the Israelites had compassion on their brothers. Okay, I just need to say that word was cut off, okay? It went from one sentence to the next. Okay. Okay. It was good in Israel. So there are 11 tribes. I love God too. Today a tribe has been cut off from Israel. What should we do about wives for the survivors? We've sworn to the Lord not to give them any of our daughters as wives. They asked, "Which city among the tribes of Israel didn't come to the Lord at Mizpah?" It turned out that no one from Jabesh Gilead had come to the camp and the assembly, for when the roll was called, no men were there from the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead. The congregation sent 12,000 brave warriors there and commanded them, "Go and kill the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead with the sword, including women and dependents. This is what you should do: completely destroy every male, as well as every woman who had gone to bed with a man." They found among the inhabitants of Jabesh Gilead 400 young virgins who had not been intimate with a man, and they brought them to the camp at Shiloh in the land of Canaan. The whole congregation sent a message to, the whole congregation sent a message of peace to the Benjaminites who were at Rimmon Rock. Benjamin returned at that time, and Israel gave them the women they had kept alive from Jabesh Gilead, but there were not enough for them. The people had compassion on Benjamin because the Lord had made this gap in the tribes of Israel. The elders of the congregation said, "What should we do about wives for those who are left, since the women of Benjamin have been destroyed?" They said, "There must be heirs for the survivors of Benjamin so that a tribe of Israel would not be wiped out. But we can't give them our daughters as wives, for the Israels had sworn anyone who gives a wife to a Benjaminite is cursed." They also said, "Look, there's an annual festival to the Lord in Shiloh, which is north of Bethel, east of the highway that goes up from Bethel to Shechem and south of Lebanon." Then they commanded the Benjaminites, "Go and hide in the vineyards. Watch, and when you see the young women of Shiloh come out to perform the dances, each of you leave the vineyards and catch a wife for yourself from the young women of Shiloh and go to the land of Benjamin. When the fathers or brothers come to us and protest, we will tell them, 'Show favor to them, since we did not get enough wives for each of them in the battle. You didn't actually give the woman to them, so you are not guilty of breaking your oath.'" The Benjaminites did this and took the number of women they needed from the dancers they caught. They went back to their own inheritance, rebuilt their cities, and lived in them. At that time, each of the Israelites returned from there to his own tribe and family. Each returned from there to his own inheritance. In those days, there was no king in Israel. Everyone did whatever seemed right to him. So the reason why Joshua was that I'm gonna call it a chapter. I don't know what to call it, but the reason why that one was interesting to me is because I don't know. I paid more attention to it compared to what I have before, and it really broke down how like false worshiping, like I don't want to, I don't want to be so specific in my verbiage, but like how the intermarriages between families and all this, like, and what people are worshiping. That's what I learned out of Joshua more so. I mean, I don't have the words for it. I could write if I wanted to, but like I don't have the words for it. But now the next one is Ruth. And honestly, I tried to I read the remainder of that, but like I just feel a little bit very sporadic right now. Also, my throat is crazy. I have not had a cup of coffee this morning or nothing. So, but yeah, that's the chapter that the battle started making more sense. Unless that was the chapter that battles finally started getting brought up. I don't think so. I think it definitely was read before that. Like I read that before, like I read more on battles before that, but like I was starting to connect like the families and everything. Like if we go back, let me see if I can. I don't know. Since it is a lot of information, it's just a lot. Oh, like the Levites, then descendants of Aaron. Samson and Delilah. I remember them. Like this one, I don't know, it just started making more sense to me. Oh, and that was in Judges. I was looking in Joshua because I was finishing Joshua last time I read it and then moved to Judges. But I think I want to save this chapter. I think I want to save that chapter. I need some coffee, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, they say like at least 10 minutes of reading per day, right? That's not too bad. But yeah, sorry that my video paused a little bit throughout this. I'm gonna go ahead and end this live and maybe come back later on, maybe later, who knows. But you're divine, stay on your grind, and have faith all the mother loving time. I'm out.